How's it going, guys? You're getting a little bit of a bonusode here, as OEB Pete would say. So I just wanted to let you guys know I popped on Dead to Rights tonight for the original Xbox, and I've been playing it via backwards compatibility on my Xbox One X. So I believe it is playing in 4K. It doesn't have the frame rate boost, but man, the game runs smooth, really crisp looking. I'm surprised at how good the graphics actually hold up in this game. So, just to backtrack a bit, I've had this game in my collection for a number of years. It was one of the first games I picked up for the original Xbox, if I'm not mistaken. I did, albeit very briefly, I did pop it on back in the day, and I put it down rather quickly. And now, popping it on tonight, I do remember as to why I didn't really give it a chance. So the problem with this game, the big problem with this game, in my opinion, it's basically the camera. So as with a lot of older games from the 6th generation, I know I can specifically tell you guys that other game that's on the PS2 there, where you're on the horse and you have to climb the beasts, their Shadow of the Colossus, has the exact same issue as Dead to Rights. So basically, when you're running around in the open world using the left thumbstick, the trick is basically to not touch the right thumbstick, because if you do that, it disrupts the camera and it's hard to bring it back to where you need it to be. But it's kind of a pain in the ass, because sometimes you do have to move the camera around depending on what's going on in the action sequence. So yeah, kind of a pain in the ass. You kind of get used to it. I say kinda because even after I've arrived at chapter 2, I'm still finding myself periodically, I feel like I want to use the right joystick to move the camera around, but it just sort of throws everything out of whack. So the game starts off in like a tutorial. You get through that, and then you get to chapter 1, where you enter this kind of like a strip club, nightclub, strip club. And I'm telling you guys, the graphics look really good for, again, being a game that's about 20 years old. This game does share some similarities with Max Payne. I'd say this game leans a lot more on the action emphasis. This game came out almost 1 year after Max Payne, and they blatantly ripped off the bullet time effects, but they did a really good job in this game. So you can jump forward with your twin pistols as you shoot in slow-mo, kind of like the Matrix. So you could say this game ripped off Max Payne, but then you could say Max Payne ripped off the Matrix, right? It's a rabbit hole. Also, as well, you can rip gas canisters off the wall, throw the canister up in the air, wait for it to slowly come back down. Once it gets closer to the enemies, you can shoot the canister. It kind of has like an auto aim feature in the game, and the canister will blow up and kill all the enemies within sight. So it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I didn't know this till I read about this today, and someone else in the community that recently beat this game, he may or may not take issues with this, but I'm not discrediting him beating the game, because the game is pretty tough. Apparently, the game is a lot easier on the PlayStation 2 and on the GameCube than it is on the original Xbox. I don't know why that is. That's what I'm reading online. The game, for me, I am finding it a bit challenging, but I think a lot of the times it's trial and error. Like at the beginning when you're in the nightclub and you're fighting the bouncers, I was kind of letting them come to me, and I kept on dying. And then I realized you have to stick and move, and you have to chase after them. So you block, you let them sort of try to punch you, then you'd attack, knock a guy down, and run to the next guy, run to the next guy, run to the next guy. Then you get a boss battle. Got through that. I ended up, again, getting into chapter 2, where you're running around. I'll show you some screenshots here from my gameplay. You get into chapter 2, and you're kind of like in a Chinatown, And again, I'm trying to play it like Max Payne, right? I got Max Payne in my head. I'm trying to kill all the enemies from afar, but in this game, it doesn't really work that well. You're better off. Obviously, you got to take cover when you can, but a lot of times you just got to run right up to the enemies. And in this instance, in Chapter 2, a lot of times you got to run past a bunch of enemies. Don't worry about them. Run into an alleyway and chase after this main guy that you're trying to catch. And that's where I am now. I entered this hotel lobby, and it's pretty fucking difficult. I had to walk away from the game because I had something else going on, and I was thinking this game auto-saved, and it doesn't. So I lost everything, so I have to go back. Not a big deal, I guess, and replay Chapter 1 and get through Chapter 2 as well. But I'm having a ball with Dead to Rights. I'm really glad I put this on. Kind of give me a break from some of the other sort of open world games I've been playing as of late. So, yeah, first impressions, Dead to Rights is pretty fucking awesome. Looks really good on the Xbox One X. I've heard rumblings that Dead to Rights 2 is not as good as Dead to Rights. But then I was reading about it on Wikipedia, and they're saying Dead to Rights 2 is actually really good. Again, I did recently pick up Retribution for the 360, but for now we're going to focus on Dead to Rights. I'm going to continue chipping away at this game, but I find myself, a lot of times I catch myself wanting to sort of stand back and admire some of the visual aesthetics in the game, but it's hard to do that because guys are coming after you left, right, and center, and you can't really stand around. So it's crazy all these years later, we still talk about Max Payne, and we hold it obviously in high regards, but I don't hear anybody really talking about Dead to Rights these days. No one's really clamoring for, I guess, a fifth game in the series. So I don't know. I haven't played the other games. I've only played the original Dead to Rights, and right now I'm liking what I'm seeing. Amazing cutscenes. Cutscenes are almost to a T, just like the cutscenes you'd see in Max Payne. Long, drawn-out cutscenes with Brian De Palma-esque camera angles in the cutscenes and using the in-game engine. What more could you want? The music is absolutely incredible, especially when you're in that nightclub. Oh, yeah, baby. Anyways, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know in the comments if you guys have played Dead to Rights before, and have you heard about whether or not it's more difficult on the original Xbox. Let me know in the comments below. That's going to do it for this bonusode. Thanks so much for watching. Have a good night.